This month, we're focusing on graphic design 101, tools to help you create graphic designs at little to no cost to promote your ministry projects and events. So we are so excited to have you guys here with us. As I stated before, everyone who, if you don't have any experience, you're here to learn. That's what we're doing tonight. So everyone will get a copy of the video presentation as well as the PowerPoint presentation tomorrow in your inbox, and you'll have my contact information. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. So what are we doing tonight? Tonight we are going to be looking at, well, first, we're going to be looking at graphic design. In February, we'll be doing Socially Savvy 101, and then March will be Socially Savvy 201. So we're going to be looking at social media sites. So if you have questions about how to use Facebook for ministry, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, February and March, we're going to be going over those. In April, we're going to step it up a notch and look at some website design, what to consider, how do you save money on having a website. Websites can be really expensive, and how do you not have a crappy website? Because if you don't do it right, your website can hurt your brand more than it helps it. And then our last session will be in May, and we'll be looking at email marketing. So how do you send out newsletters that people actually respond to? I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to the Connectional Lay Council for, that's fine, Annie, if you don't have experience. To the Connectional Lay Council for tapping me to do this. I did a presentation in July in Knoxville, and they had a really good response from it. So here we are continuing the conversation. So thank you to the Lay Council. So what's on our agenda for tonight? Tonight we're going to examine 3 common tools, and I was really pleased when we did the poll to see that a lot of you are already familiar with Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, and then I think one person is using Canva. But Canva, I think, is going to be that tool that really makes your graphic design pop. So I think you guys are going to be really happy once I show you that tool and show you how to use it, because it's great to have these tools, but if you don't know how to use it, not so great, right? So let's get started with Microsoft Word. What can you do in Word? You can do letters. Of course, we have a lot of letters that go out to the church. Unfortunately, people aren't mailing letters as much. So most of the time, letters have been replaced with emails. A lot of churches that still do programs, they're doing their programs using Microsoft Word. We do have a few people who are doing flyers in Microsoft Word. And then we have some churches that are doing newsletters. So you might say, who is still doing newsletters? Well, I talked to one church, and they said that because they have a lot of older members, although they share information on social media, they also put together a paper newsletter once a quarter that just kind of goes through the things that they've already done in the church and some of the things that are coming up, because the older members aren't on Facebook. They're not on social media. You might have people who are in the nursing home, and you want to take them something to help them catch up with the news. And it's as simple as, just putting some text boxes together and being able to put together your newsletter. So we're going to look at a couple of ways to do that as well. We do PSA. Oh, cool. Not a lot of people are doing PSAs, but that's awesome. And yes, I'm checking out the chat and the question and answer as we go along so that I can make sure that I am answering the questions that you guys might have. And then we also do reports in Microsoft Word. So let's look over to Microsoft Word. And we're going to go through a couple of things that you can use to help you with your designs in Word. The first thing you want to do is figure out your layout. So if you're doing a program for an upcoming event, you probably want to do it landscape size. So with landscape, you can set up 2 columns. And so the column over here on the first page is going to be your back page. And then your front page is going to go on the right-hand side. So that way, when you create the second page will be the inside. So I know for some people that can get a little tricky, and if you've never done programs in Word, you might not have thought about that. But so that when you print it, if you do a you print it front and back, then your cover will be on the correct side. I won't say on the right side, but it'll be on the correct side when you fold it in half. Some churches actually use 11 by 17 paper so that you have like a larger, so that you have almost like a full sheet as your front and your back, and so that just gives you more space. So what's the best way to add text? So if you want to put some text on your cover, then you can use a text box. And so what a text box does is it will help you to kind of judge where you're. So you see this green line. Where's that green line go? So there's a green line that will show you when you're in the center. So the green line that you just saw, you see that little green line? Like that tells me that I'm going over to the other side of the page. So I'm going to make sure that I stay on this side of the green line, and then I can pull my text box over to here. So you see the green line popped up again, and it tells me I'm on the outside of my margin. And so if you follow the green lines, then that's your top margin. And then you scroll down and you can find the next green line, and then that is your bottom margin. And so what I typically do if I'm making a program, then I will type whatever information I want to type in here, and I'll keep the lines on the box just to kind of serve as my guide. And then once I'm done, go over to Format, and then you'll see Shape Outline, and then you can say No Outline. And then you just have your text. And so since we've already sized it, we're going to put our line back on to be our guide. Then you can do a quick copy. So go over to Home, Copy, put your cursor over here, and then you do a quick paste. And then you'll see you have your text box for the other side. And then you just line it up the same way. And then you can type your information for your front cover. So that's one way to do it. Or if you want to just use your, and you can also use this format if you're doing a newsletter. So if you want to say have, a short article up here, and then this may be your cover, and then you want to put your logo above here, then you can insert, let's see, you can insert a picture, and I will find, we'll go with the IMLA. I said we'll go with the Connection Lake Council since you guys are the ones you're working with. So if you want to put your logo in, okay, this is a super, 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 super important thing. If you are resizing a picture, do not do this and do not do this. Those are graphic design no, 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 no's. Do not do that. So we're going to try to reset it. Oh. All right, come back up here. Okay, so sometimes you'll have this problem. So you have your picture and it's down here and you're like, oh my God, why are you doing that? Why are you being crazy? So in order to get it where you can move it around, you can either put it in front of your text. So wherever the text is, the logo is going to be in front, or you can put it behind the text so that, and this is right over here. Hold on just a second, Brandon, I'll get to you. You can put it behind the text so that if you only want to see part of it, or you can put it in front of the text. But as I was saying with the no, 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 no's, whenever you're resizing pictures, always drag from the corner. Why do we drag from the corner? Because it keeps your proportions. I have seen so many people send me their headshots, and they have stretched themselves this way and they look distorted, and they've stretched themselves that way and they look distorted. Always drag from your corner so that you keep your shape. All right, let me jump into the question and answer because we got a lot of people with some questions. Okay, I can't see your screen, but I hear you. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me see why you can't see my screen. I am so sorry about that, guys. I don't see anything with the slideshow. Okay. All right, can you guys see the screen now? I'm sorry about that. That's horrible. All right, so I'm going to, yes, I'm sharing a Word document. Screen's only showing. Okay, gotcha. All right, so everybody should be good now. I'm going to go back through that really quick. So one of the things that I said, once we opened up the Word document, you want to go into Layout, and you want to figure out. All right, can everybody see my screen now? Let me do a quick check. General document. Let me see. Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right. I'm sorry about that. I saw like all these questions. Like, dang, like y'all got a lot of questions. Okay, so you want to go into Layout, Orientation. So right now we're in Landscape, because Landscape is what's going to help you to have the bifold program. And then you can either do 2 columns where you type, and then it'll spill over to the next column and you type. Or we can use text boxes. And so you guys will see when you move the text box over, this little green line, that's going to help you to judge your margins. And so it even shows you your center margin. So when you go over, where did my center margin go? So it'll show you when you're getting close to your center margin as well. Yep, there it is. See the little green line right there? That's your center margin. So you can type in here, and then once you're finished typing, like I said, I use the lines just to serve as a guide. And then once I'm done, then I go over to Shape Outline under Format, and then I turn off the outline, and then you'll see that it'll look just like a program. Or if you want to do like a decorative outline, you can definitely do that. If you want to make it a little thicker, then you can go into weight. So if you want to have like a thick border around it, you can definitely do that. And then Shape Outline, if you want to make it into some dashes, then you can do that. So for your border, this is where you will find that. And then if you wanted to have no border, but you wanted to have like a cute little background for your text, then you can do that. I always tell people, so I see a lot of flyers and people have, you know, these wonderful colors. Be mindful of ink. Like if you're doing this and you're going to send it to somebody and you want them to print it off, be mindful of their ink. Because a lot of people, if you have like all this red on here, they're probably not going to print your flyer because they don't want to use up all of their ink. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So then the other thing that I was talking about that you all couldn't see, and I'm so sorry, is when you have images. So how do we insert images? We're going to take this one out and I'll insert it again. You go to Insert, Pictures, and then I'm going to pull up the Connectional Lay Council logo, and I have it set where it's all over the place. So you can take, so if yours won't move like this, you can have it in front of the text. And so then you'll see you can move it all around when it's in front of the text. So what I was saying is stop doing this to your designs and stop doing this to your pictures, because you distort the images. And I've seen too many people do that with their personal pictures, and it makes you look very odd when you do that. So whenever you're resizing pictures, always drag from the corner, because the corner is going to change the shape, but then it's also going to keep the proportions. So if you're doing it, so imagine this is your head, and you're pulling your head the long way, then you have an oval head. Or if you're pulling it this way, then it makes like you have a big wide head. So always pull your pictures this way. The people that you're doing programs for will greatly appreciate you. So, you know, once we have our information, and then let's say, you know, we have this, and then we want to put our logo right here in the center, and then we want to keep typing. The other thing I was saying, if you wanted to do this as a newsletter, then you can have a short article up here. Simply take your text box and make a copy of it. And then you can have, you know, maybe 2 articles underneath. So we do this, and then we make another one, and then we put them side by side. So if you want to do a cute little newsletter for, you know, some of your older members, especially just to keep them up to date on what's going on, or even for some of your younger members who might not come to church, you want to send them something to college, just to at college, just to let them know that you're thinking about them, then a cute little newsletter is a great way to do that. So like, let's say you're doing a report and you want your report to look real snazzy. One thing that you can do is insert a cover page. Not sure if you guys use cover pages or not, but cover pages are great to make your document look kind of fancy. As you'll see in here, there are lots of different options for cover pages. So, you know, if you're putting together a report, you want to, you know, have a little pride in your report, not just slap a little title on the top of it. You want to put your document title, subtitle, and ask you for different information. To change the color, we talked about this in our first webinar. You can go over to your color schemes, and you'll see over here you have all these different color schemes that you can use. And the great thing about it is the colors will stay consistent throughout the document. So when you get ready to actually start typing, and you say my report, then you come over here and you make this the title of your report, and you say it's all about church. If that's going to be your first heading, then you use heading. And then let's say you want to say I love my church is going to be your next topic, and then you make that your second heading. Then you want to go in and you want to get real fancy. You can insert your table of contents. Table of contents is over in references, and you say I want to add a table, and it automatically adds your table. I've seen so many people try to manually insert their table of contents, and what happens is if you change a page or one thing, then you got to go back up and you got to deal with all those spaces, and it's really not worth it. So so we have our table of contents on this page, and you're like, hey, but I don't want my report to start right after my contents. So you go over to insert, and you insert a page break, and then that's how you start the next page. So that's a great way to do reports. And then if you want to insert pictures, let's see, we have a couple of questions over here. Let's pop back on. I got now. Okay, is everybody in? I'm not seeing what you're adding. Can you guys hold on? $8.18. All right. Some people still having trouble seeing. Are you guys still having? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. Okay. I forgot that when I change screens, I have to go back in and manually change it. So hold on. I'm thinking. Gotta think fast here. How do I fix this? All right. Didn't see what you just did. Okay. So we're gonna go back through reports. So now that I know, learning experience for all of us. So if you do a report, then what I did was cover page to show you how the different cover page options that you have. To change the color, we went over to design to show you all the different colors that you can select from. And then to add your, so if you want to, if your report is titled My Report, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I don't like this color. Let's find this a different color. It's not doing it for me. All right, so if you type My Report, and then from the home screen, you make that your title. And then if you make It's All About My Church as your heading, and then I Love My Church as your second heading. So of course, you know, you have content in here and content underneath here. Then you'll see if you do references, add table of contents, then it'll automatically add your table of contents for you. So that way you're not having to manually add a table of contents whenever you get ready to to finalize the project. This is where you insert your footnotes. Let's see what else. And then, of course, if you want to insert pictures. So one of the things I love about Office 365 is if you want to find a picture. So like, let's say you're doing something on bullying, and so you want an image that depicts bullying. You can type in bullying, and then you'll see like all these different images. And all you have to do is click on the image and then click on insert, and then it automatically inserts the image for you. So that's really cool if you don't have time to go online and if you don't have time to go online and look for images, then you can use the insert online pictures feature. If you want to add an online video, so let's say there's a video on YouTube that you want to add a link to, you can do that from here. If there's something on Wikipedia that you want to add, shapes, icons, all of this good stuff. Oh, screenshots. So if there's a screenshot, so like right now it's showing my different screens, and all of those are available for a screenshot. So all you have to do is pull up the screen like on your website or wherever it is, and then you would just select that screen, and then it'll add it to your presentation. And then there is also, hold on, let me see. So if you want to add tables, then this is where you would add tables. And you can even, so like let's say you're working in Excel and you have your budget and you want to add your budget. You can insert an Excel worksheet into your presentation also. So those are some really quick things that you can do with Microsoft Word. If you're creating, I'm going to get it right this time. So we're going to do new. I'm going to do a new share. Hold on. Give me just, all right. New share. Yes, I got it this time. So if you want to do a flyer, so you would just start with a blank page. You can insert your graphic designs. The same thing that I said before. So like, let's say we want to do it on bullying, such an easy one for me to pull up images on. So let's say you're having a, stop bullying campaign and you want to use this image. I usually start with my image first because that's going to help me to figure out the color that I want. And if you want to delete that, that's going to help me to figure out the color. So if you have red and black in your image, then you probably don't want to stray too far from red and black with your color scheme. Try to find some colors for like your heading that match the whatever the images are. So let your images guide the color of your flyer. For the format, so you see like this isn't moving. You're like, hey, it's not moving. Choose wrap text, and you can make it in front of the text, and then that allows you to move it anywhere. If you have, a lot of words already on here and you want it to be wrapped with the words, but that the words go around it, then you would choose wrap text, and you can do it tight with the words where the words go around it, or you can do it square with the words where the words are on top and below. And then if you want to position it, you can have it where it stays in the top right-hand corner. Remember, we always pull from the edges. So, you guys have any questions? We're going to take a second to answer any questions. All right. So, I hope we were able to fix this. And you guys were able to see the last screen. So, yeah. All right. So if you have any questions about using Microsoft Word, yes, questions? Okay. If you have any questions about using Microsoft Word, either post it in the question and answer or post it in the chat, and then I will make sure to answer it because I realized there was a little user error on my part with you guys not being able to see my screen. So next we're going to go over to PowerPoint. And I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to use the one that I've already done. So the really interesting thing is like this might seem a little familiar to you all. If you're doing presentations on a regular basis, You don't have to always reinvent the wheel. You may not believe it, but the presentation that I have for tonight and the presentation that I did last time are essentially the same presentation. So this is November. I have the same content. I just kind of spruced it up a little bit. And then for this time, I used the same theme, but I went over to design. And you'll see that once you choose a design, they'll have like different variations that you can choose from. So I just chose a different variation so that it would change the color scheme and give you guys something a little bit different to look at. You can design flyers in PowerPoint. One of the ways that you can do that, where's my new PowerPoint? All right, hold on. PowerPoint 1. All right, new share. So one of the ways that you can do that is by, where is the PowerPoint? Let's see. Do you guys see a blank PowerPoint screen? Not seeing what you're adding. Let's pop back up. A mini spreadsheet and okay, I'm choosing one. So if a graphic has words on it like Shutterstock, then that means you need to go to Shutterstock and actually purchase the image. So typically Shutterstock and Adobe and other companies that sell images, they watermark their images so that people can't use them for free. So that's one of the advantages of pulling the image directly from Microsoft, from the Microsoft platform, because they find pictures for you that don't have the watermarking on them. So like with this apple, you know, it's not going to have Shutterstock on it. The other thing that you have to be really conscious of is making sure that the images are clear, because sometimes if the image is really small and then you try to make it really big, it gets very grainy. So you'll see, and we can do, so one of the things that I do is I search for images whenever I'm doing a design project. And so, oh cool, so you guys see my desktop. Why did I do this in the first place? So when I search for images, then I'll say image, let's see, for one, networking. So like, let's say I'm looking for a picture of people who are networking. So I go to image networking, and then I click on images so that all I see are the images. And then when I found, I'm like, oh, okay, like this is kind of cute if I'm talking about computer technology type networking. Then I look at it. So some of the things that I look for is to see, like, once you see this little gray bar down here, it's telling you that it's still loading. So you want to be sure that, this is a good one too. So one, you want to be sure that, you know, once it loads, that it's a really clear image. Then you want to look over here to see what's the size of the image. Because if the image is really small, like 200 by 100 or less than 500 by whatever pixels, if you try to blow it up, then it's going to be very grainy and it's not going to show very well. And I would like to. Okay, I'll definitely reach out to you, Lisa, about that. Oh goodness, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold up, stop. All right, we're just gonna go back. So one of the things, so you guys see like these little gray dots in the background? What this means is that it is, how do I keep pressing that? That it's on a transparent background. So like, so what I do, if I decide, okay, I wanna use this image, then I'll do a save as, and then I will save it as networking, and you'll see it's a PNG file. And a lot of times PNG files have transparent backgrounds. Sometimes they don't, but typically that's what that means. So then we have this little one. So this is awesome. I get to show you the difference between these two images. So we're going to do a save as. So we have two networking images. They're essentially the same. One is smaller, one is larger, one is a PNG and one is not. So, all right, we want you gone. And I'm like super paranoid now. Like, can they see what I'm doing? All right, good. All right, so we're going to insert these pictures. Well, first, I need to make sure that you guys, oh yeah, we can do this. So we're going to make the background purple for effect. So then we're going to insert the pictures. So we have our two networking. So you'll see this one had the white background. So once we insert it, then it's not going to be the little people on purple. It's going to be the little people on a white background on the purple. PowerPoint does this awesome thing now where they give you these design ideas. So it takes a lot of the thinking and the work out of having to create a nice presentation, because they will help you to figure out how to place it. But let's see. But let's see if we try to add the other little guy that we pulled that had the same look, but he was a PNG file. So you'll see that, oh my goodness, somebody tried to fade this out. So typically, somebody did a horrible job. That's a whole other conversation. But you'll see, like in this space where it was all just white, how now the white has been, some of the white has been taken out. And typically, if it's a serious PNG file, then you would just have the images and you wouldn't have any of the white space. But it looks like somebody got started and then just gave up on the project. So when you're looking at images to pull, if you want something that's going to be transparent, then if you see like these little gray dots, that's usually what that means. And then you can't always go on it just being a PNG file. This one looks like it's, let's try this one. Hopefully they did a better job. So we're gonna, and I can't tell you how many times I pull pictures and then I delete pictures and start over, because it's all about finding the best images for your project. Yeah, they did better. They still left a lot of white space. But this is what it would look like if you had an image with a transparent background. So the other thing that we see is this is one of the smaller images. So it's only 400. And you see, the more we pull it, the fuzzier the image gets. So that's why when you're pulling images, you want to make sure that you're checking to see what the resolution is, so that you'll know if it's a high quality image. So we're gonna go over to the chat, see what you guys talking about. We can see it now. So your PowerPoint is great, good tips for software not using. Okay, awesome, awesome. Just gotta make sure I'm not leaving anybody behind. So once you come in here and you're designing, so like let's say you want to do an event flyer and you put the information together. Like I said, go through. There are so many different designs that you can work with. They have different color schemes that you can choose from. You can change the size of it. You can make a custom size. You can change the background. So if you want to change the color, all of these. I always say, like, click all the buttons, and then if you don't like what you did, you can always press Control Z. Control Z is undo. Use that one a lot too, because sometimes I'm pressing buttons, I'm like, oh wait, not what I was trying to do. So if you do something, don't fear, press Control Z and you can get out of it. So again, here we can insert pictures, we can insert screenshots, photo albums, charts. So like, let's say, you're doing a presentation and you have, a chart to really help you make that point that you're trying to make, then this is where you will come. I wish I had time to go through exactly how to do all of this tonight, but I don't, because it's a lot and we could spend a lot of time. What would you use the pouring bucket to do your background instead of that? So once you have chosen the type of background that you want to use, then you can go in and choose. So like if I'm using this one and then I want to choose a solid fill, then I would use the pouring bucket if I want to change the actual color. But the design is going to help me to decide like what the actual layout looks like, if that helps. I do not use Publisher just because how does a photo work versus an image? So going back to Publisher, so I don't use Publisher just because it's not very easy for me compared to some of the other tools that I have access to. And since we only have an hour tonight, I'm only focusing on 3. And I know a lot of people use Word and PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show you guys Canva. How does a photo work versus an image? So over here, and I think you're talking about over here. So with the pictures, these come from your computer. So these are things that you already have, or you went somewhere and you saved them. Whereas if you're inserting online pictures, then these are pictures that Bing is finding for you. And so you can just type in, so like let's say, and I guess I'm just a creature of habit because I don't usually use these for, networking images, but, here they have a few networking images that we could have pulled from. So you take that one and you click insert, and there you have it. So it's just a matter of, what's easiest for you and what you feel most comfortable doing. The first couple of times you do this, it's probably going to take you some time, and you'll get to see, all the different things that you can do. But I think, keeping it relatively simple, I've seen some flyers that it's like somebody took every graphic image that they could find and put it all on one design. And you want to kind of keep it clean and classy. How can I make an image transparent? You actually cannot make an image transparent unless it's your image and you're saving it in a program that allows you to save it with a transparent background. So if you have an image like the one that we were looking at up here, there is a program that there are programs that you can go in and they will burn out the background. But again, that's not something that I can really get into tonight. So there's a way that you can do it, but there's not an easy way that you can do it. How can I purchase Office 365 at a good price? So I don't know if it's a good price or not, but I do Office 365 and I pay like $7 a month, and I think I have about 5 subscriptions. So I have it on my iPad, my phone, my laptop, and my son's my son's computer, so that when I save stuff, then I can, if someone, sends me like a Word document and I'm traveling, I can open it up in my iPad and edit it, or if it's a PowerPoint or a spreadsheet. So I pay $7 a month, and it's not, that big of a deal. I always have, the latest version, so it's always like updating. Like sometimes I'll log in and it has like all these features that I didn't see before, which is really cool. You can purchase it, at the annual rate, which I'm sure, they give you a discount, but I just do the $7 a month, and it's like, okay, I can't go to Starbucks today. So hopefully that helped. Leave us all a chat. Okay, so you can make an image transparent and Publisher. Regina and Irma are saying, okay. Yeah, and like I said, I haven't used Corel either, so I can't really speak to those. So the cool thing, if you decide to do your presentations, oh my goodness, we didn't even get into animation. So for your if you want to add, animations where you make your designs do really cool things, come over in the animations tab and play with that. If you want to do transitions, as the slide goes from one slide to the next, you can come in here. If you want to add a video like from YouTube, you can add it here. If you want to add audio, so if you see some people who do the presentations and they have the music, you can add that over here. Screen recording, so you can do that and import it, and it'll have like a little microphone that imports it automatically like onto that screen, so it starts showing when you get to that screen. And then if you want to rehearse your timings, if you want to record your slideshow, You can play around in here. But let's say, you know, we're designing this and this is going to be our flyer. Don't ever say that, you know, we made this into a flyer. But you can do a save as, and you save it as a PowerPoint presentation. It's a PowerPoint presentation. You can save it as a PDF. One thing I want you guys to stop doing in 2018 is sending people the original versions of your documents. Even in Microsoft Word, if you're sending someone your report, when you do save as, always, always, always save as a PDF, because you can send someone your report and they can be like, huh, that's interesting, but I don't like that. And if you send it to them as a Word document, they can actually go in and change your presentation because you sent it to them in an editable form. So if you're sending out presentations, you're sending out reports, even in Excel, you can go in and do a save as, and then you save it as a PDF right here so that the version that they get is not editable. Now, there are some people who have the PDF edit software where they can translate your project from whatever PDF is in into the original project, but people are less likely to do that than if you're just sending them your document. So always, always send a PDF. Also, if you decide that you want to make this into a flyer format, you save it as a JPEG. A JPEG is a picture image. So sometimes you might save something and you have it in Word and you go over to Facebook and you're like, I can't wait to upload my really cool flyer. And you click on your Word file and it's a link. Or you have it as a really cool PDF and you upload it and it's a link. And you're like, why can't everybody see my really cool design? And it's because they only recognize picture formats. So either save it as a JPEG or a PNG. Those are the best two formats for images. If you have video and you want your PowerPoint to run as a video, then you either need to save it as MP4 or you need to save it as a media video. So those are two things to remember. If you have an image, if you have an image, save it as a JPEG or PNG. If you have it as a video, then save it as one of the video formats. And yes, there are other format files in here, but a lot of systems don't recognize those. So instead of getting all caught up and going down that wormhole, just remember PNG or JPEG and then a video format. So let's see. Then we got that. And then we have no chats. All right, so we have 15 minutes left. I feel like I'm rushing through this, and I know there are going to be some questions, and that is good, because we definitely want to answer your questions. So Canva is $12.95 per month. But if you're doing a lot of graphic design, that would be the best $12.95 per month that you spend. Canva is where you get the images that pop, as someone said. If you want to do a logo, you can do that in Canva. We're going to look at social media posts. I'm not going to go into all of these. We'll look at a flyer. What are a couple of other things that you guys might be? Oh, yeah. Everybody loves certificates, right? You can do a certificate in here. You can do, this would be a really cool project if anybody's working in youth ministry. You can do a yearbook with your kids. Then we have marketing materials, have posters, flyers, logos. I'm going to do a gift certificate, business card. No, there's something else. Headers, like for Facebook and your different social media profiles. And then if you want to do a program. So like, let's start with logo. It's probably going to take forever. Okay, so if you want to design, you know, a cute little logo, then you can come over here and they give you some ideas to get you started. So you say, hey, you know, I like this design, but I would rather have a cross right here. So this is group. So but you say, I don't really like those 3 dots. I would rather have a cross. So you can delete that. You come over here and you say, hey, I need a cross. And then you find like a few different crosses. You take one. going to be a huge cross. And then you get your cross, and they don't let you drag from the top or bottom because they know better. So you put your cross on here, and then you put your name. You want to change the background. Say, I don't like that gray. I want it to maybe be gold. Definitely don't want gold. You say, I want it to maybe be green. Then you can play around with it, and you're like, okay, that version's nice, but you know, I think I would like it better if the background was white. And for all of you who are asking about making transparent images, if you have a white background, then you can download this as a PNG and you can give it a transparent background. And then when you save it, instead of seeing the white, you'll only see the image. So when you go back into layouts, you'll see that they have tons of different layouts. They have lots of different they have lots of different fonts, not as many as Word has, of course, but you can go in and choose the type of font that you want. You can play around with the positioning of it. They do have, you know, some different font, I guess, collections that's already pre-made if you want to use some of those. So that's really cool. If you want to do like a different type of background, then you can come down here and you'll see they have some pattern backgrounds. So let's say we go with this background. It's like, oh yeah, I like that, but I would rather have it in hot pink. Then you can change it to hot pink. So that is really cool. Let's see, we have a chat. To create a save the date, it depends on what's, like, if you're going to be printing it or if you're just going to use it for social media. So right here we have some social media already designed. So like, let's say, you know, we want to use this, but we're like, yeah, you know, that's not the image that I want. I need to close out some of these windows. So you say, okay, I want cooking, because we're going to have a cooking class. And so I want something that deals with cooking instead of aromatherapy, I guess it looks like. Then you use that image, you drop it in there, it automatically fits. So it's okay, the color is not really working. So instead of making that white, we're going to make it purple. Or did I make purple? Oh, it didn't change. I talk to myself a lot. Okay, guess it didn't want purple, huh? So then you can, you know, kind of play around with it to find like the best color combination. If you find that the image is too light or it's too dark, you can always make it lighter so that your words stand out more. Or if you want to make it darker, then you can make it darker. So you see sometimes images are kind of faded out. Transparency is one of the ways that they do that. Then, of course, if you need to flip it, you can do all those great things. Let's say you like this size, but you're like, I want 2 pictures. I don't want just 1 picture. Then you can go into Elements, and you can find a grid. So you might use this grid, and then you go back to your cooking pictures, and you're like, okay, over here, I'm going to put some utensils. And then over here, and you can even use pictures that you've uploaded. So hey, I got some of our peoples over here. Crystal won't kill me. I'll use her pictures. So if Crystal is going to be the person doing your cooking class, and you want it to be all about her, and then you decide that you're going to add some text underneath it, and you say Crystal is going to be cooking with us. And then you make it bigger. So this is a really fun program to play around with. So this will get you a social media size post. Really, really fun. You can change the dimensions. And if you want to do a magical resize. So like, let's say you decide, okay, I love this so much. I want it to be a flyer. I want it to be magazine print. I want it to be a Twitter post. I want it to do everything. You just check these boxes. And then you click abracadabra resize, and then you'll see about however many you chose windows popping up. And then it's going to have the same image, but it's going to be in all the different sizes that you selected over here. So instead of you having to go and recreate the whole thing, you just do a magic resize, and then you'll get it in all those different sizes. So let's see, which one is this? So then this is a flyer. So this is a small flyer. So this might be good for the save the date if you want to do like a 5x7. I know, right? Canva is the best. If you want to do like a small, almost postcard size, then you can use this Canva. This flyer size, and then you just kind of pick one that you want to use, and then these have like two, so they have like a front and back, so you can look and see what the front looks like and what the back looks like. So if we want to do this one, because we're going to have a raffle, like we don't do raffles at church, right? But you want to do something similar, and then on the back you want to put, you know, what the then on the back you want to put what the prizes are going to be, so that when you print it, that you're printing front and back. Then it gives you that. So then you just go in, and if that's kind of small, you're like, oh my God, I cannot see that. Then you just go in and you zoom in, and then you start editing. You take each block and you edit the color, edit the different font that you use. If you say, I don't like that background, I don't like the color of the background, whatever, you just go into backgrounds, choose your new background, and have some fun. Yes, it is. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, the best $12.95 that you'll spend. Yes, we're gonna leave this one. So certificates. I know y'all love doing certificates, but you hate buying certificates. So what do? You come over here, you design you a certificate, and like, let's say, you know, this is what it's gonna be, and you do a download, and what you'll want to do is save it as a PDF print. And then if you have it where, you know, you need to put in the different people's names, you might want to leave that part blank. Or if you know the people's names and you want to do like one for each of them, then you just copy the page, automatically copies everything, type in the people's names, and when you get to download, you download as a PDF print, and it'll download all the pages, and then you just send it to your printer and you print. Or if you don't want to use all your color ink, you send it to Kinko's and you print. And you have all of these custom certificates. Again, you can customize it. So if you want to go with the black and gold for the lay council, then you just come in here, you change your colors, and you just change wherever you see an image or a color, you just click on it and you can change it. And then there are all these different options that you can choose from. So if you want to do birthday certificates at church, certificate of completion for Vacation Bible School this year, certificate of achievement for your honor roll students, recognition certificate, whatever rock star award, whatever you want to do, you just go in here and make it happen. So we're gonna look at so this is really cool. So if you want to do letterhead, how did that get in here? This is actually the yearbook. Okay, so then this is the yearbook format. So if you want to do a yearbook style with your students, you can come in here and it will, that's what I didn't show you guys. Okay, so it'll come in here and it'll give you the different layouts, and then this one has like 30 pages. So you can pick the different pages that you want to use. So it has like table of contents. You can reorder them. So like, let's say we put this page in, and then we add this page, and then we decide to add another page, but we're like, hey, I think I want page 3 to be first. My computer is like, oh, you're trying to do too much right now. Then you just click the little down arrow, and it moves the page down. So you don't have to worry about it being out of order. You can, and then if you're like, okay, that totally sucked, do not like that, need to take it out, you just click the little delete this page, and it's gone. But let's say you want to make your own image. I can't believe I almost forgot this. So when you go into grids, it will give you these little boxes. And anytime you have like these little boxes, you can put images into them. So if you have a layout for a page and you want to be able to, like, let's say you're doing a design and you have 5 pictures you want to put on one page. Is that 5? I don't know how many this is, but you want to put like all these pictures on there. Then you can go in and you can import the pictures. You just drag them over. You just drag it over to the little box, and you put the people in the little pictures. And then if you want to put words on them, you can. So even with some of the pre-designs, you can add the different grids. So then these are grids. So grids are a full size. So whatever your page size is, your grid is going to be a full size. But if you want to do frames, then you come over here and you can find some really cool frames to use. So one of my favorite, like if you're doing something related to technology and you want to show people on a cell phone, then you can use this, and you just take like heart of worship, stick it in there. So then this is something you have to look at, like, all right, you know, does that fit into that design? Then if not, then you might have to find a different design. So sometimes I have to go through a few different designs before I actually find the one that works best inside what I'm trying to do. I have a couple of chats. This is great. No more reading. You all are very welcome. Very welcome. So yeah. So the cool thing is, like, you know, you can upload. So like, let's say I downloaded these images. I want to upload it. I just drag it and drop it, and it automatically uploads. I need to clean out some of these. So when you're, you know, done using images, then you can just go in and you select the little eye, and you can move them to your trash. But you can organize your work. So once you've done some designs, you can, you know, add new folders, and then you can have a collection. Okay. Then you can have a collection of all of your projects. What did I just do? Let's see. Okay, so all of your designs. So over here, whenever I get ready to work on a project for a client, then I just come over here and I'm like, oh yeah, here are these banners. And when I'm ready to create the next banner, I just open it up. Hate to tell you guys my secret, but I don't reinvent these every time. When I get ready to make one for the next month, you can almost guess what I'm doing. If you look at them real closely, you'll notice they look a lot alike, right? So what is she doing? She is copying, change the picture in the background, and then I'll be changing the text so that I make sure that the color shows up really well on the picture. Because as you'll see, some colors show up better depending on your background. So Canva has a lot of tutorials that you can go through, but it's really easy to use. Once you're done with your design, you want to save it and then go over to download, and you just save it to your computer, either as a PNG. So if you have multiple designs like in here, like on different pages, but you just want to save one, then you say I want to save page 2, and then you click download, and it'll save it to your computer. If you're doing like a book and you have several pages, then you can either do all the pages and it'll save it just like a book, and then you click download, and then you have it saved on your computer. So our time is almost up. One of the things that I did make a note, like, do not think just because you spent this hour looking at Canva that the next time, you know, a graphic designer comes to you and they say, hey, you know, it's going to be, you know, $50 for a flyer. The reason why they're charging you is because it takes a lot of time to have to learn how to do all of this and to do it right. And Canva is one of the less expensive softwares that graphic designers use, and it's pretty elementary for most graphic designers. So the softwares that they're using, they're paying like hundreds of dollars a year for the licensing, and then sometimes they're buying images so that they can get good images for you. So this is not to say that, you know, there's not a place for hiring graphic designers, but if you don't have a budget, and based on the poll, most of you are spending less than $25 per month, then you might not be at the place where you can afford to hire a designer. So this is a great way for you to do some things on your own. But if you want those snazzy, zazzy flyers that you see where they have the multi-layers and the people in the background and all that, then you definitely need to hire a graphic designer. And hopefully this will help you to see just how much goes into it, because we didn't even get into, and I'll get it to you, Vicki. I'll contact you afterwards. Hopefully this will help you guys to see just how much goes into creating a graphic design, because we didn't even really talk about, you know, placement and how do I make sure that if I have this image and I have these words, you know, they're not going to show up well on top of this computer. So then I have to put a box behind it, and I have to make that box transparent so that you can see the words. And, you know, how do you find the right colors? So like I said, there's a lot that goes into graphic design, but prayerfully this will help you guys to get started. You're so welcome, Lisa. This will help you guys to get started and to be able to do a few things on your own, save you some money, and represent the Amy Zion brand with pride, so that we have no more ugly graphics in 2018. Yay! Just okay. But if you guys want, I know I said 1 hour, so if you want to stick around for a little while, I'm going to go back through the questions, and if anybody has any questions, then I will be answering them for the next 15 minutes. But to be respectful to everyone else's time, we are going to officially end. And as I said, you will get a copy of the webinar, the video, as well as the PowerPoint that just has like the links and stuff to it. If you have anything that you want to contact me directly about, my email is info@womaccg.com. So if you need a copy of a previous presentation, I had one person to say that, then just send me an email and let me know what you need, and I will do my best to get it for you. So thank you guys so much, and you are welcome. And I will be scrolling up to see what all I missed while I was talking. Let's see, didn't see a poll. Okay. Okay, so someone uses Greeting Card Factory. I've never used them. All right, got that fixed. And I'm so sorry that I didn't realize I had it on the wrong thing. Pretty sure you used the point bucket too. You want to use to do your background color. info@womaccg.com. And you are welcome, Reverend Lisa. Thank you. All right, hope you got it. To make church greeting cards. I think someone said Greeting Card Factory makes greeting cards. I think I saw a comment up there. I haven't used them before. Awesome. So let's see if we have any questions that I missed. And we owe a huge shout out to the Connectional Lay Council, because they're the ones who took the initiative to make this happen. Perhaps in the future, adding mini spreadsheet. I'm a life member and like to put the true life on my better. Okay. and if anyone else has any sites that you use for graphic design, feel free to share them. I think that's a great idea from Mrs. Davis. If anyone else has any graphic design sites that they use, yeah, definitely share them in the chat box. We'd love to have them. Thank you. And thank you all. I just tried to focus on the ones that I was familiar with, and whew. All right, thank you all so much. All right, I have one person. Where'd you go? Okay. Is that all, everybody? Thank you guys so very much. Oh, ah, I'm gonna. I did miss the hyperlinks. The next session is in February. Let me look. So it's the second Thursday in February, February 8th at 8 p.m. is the next one. All right. All right. Awesome. Let me just see that. Oh, definitely. All right. All right. I love the questions. If you guys have questions, I am here to answer them. Start closing out some of these little windows. I can't wait to see what you all create. Yeah, we have a chat. Can we register? Okay, so we have someone who's used GIMP and Inkscape. I have to check those out. I haven't used either of those. Yes, Stacy, I hope you weren't one of those people dragging pictures up and down. LOL. All right, yes, email me. And yes, you can definitely register for all of the courses. We appreciate that. All right. Yeah, and if anyone has any questions that they want to ask me about one-on-one, feel free to email me. I'll try to answer you by email. If it's too detailed, then we might have to set up some time to get together for a quick phone call to answer your questions. But All right, I think I have answered everybody. No more questions in here. So you all have a wonderful night, and I will see you in a month.